base and salt. So at first we need to know about acids. Do you know what are acids? Different acids are there, as we know in earlier classes, from the earlier classes, that acids taste sharp. So but what is the actual meaning of an acid? So to get the definition we will need Arrhenius concept. So according to Arrhenius concept, acids are the hydrogen containing compound. What is the meaning of hydrogen containing compound? Hydrogen containing compound means a compound which has hydrogen as an atom in it. So acids are the hydrogen containing compound which gives H plus ion or H3O plus ion in aqueous solution. In aqueous solution. What is the meaning of aqueous solution? Aqueous solution means in water solution. Okay, so they give H plus ion or H3O plus ion are known as acid. This is the concept of Arrhenius. Like for example, if you see HCl, HCl is hydrochloric gas. When HCl is added to water, then it becomes an acid and it dissociates into ions. Which ion? H3O plus ion, and another ion is chlorine, Cl minus ion. So these two ions are formed. This is an example how HCl dissociate into ions. For another example, suppose HNO3, nitric acid. So nitric acid dissociate into aqueous solution into two ions. Which are the, or what are the ions? Ions are one common ion, it will be H3O plus because it is an acid, and another ion NO3 minus ion is created when it dissolves into water. Another example we can say CH3COOH. So these two, HCl and HNO3, these two are inorganic acid, but CH3COOH is an organic acid. Why it is an organic acid? Because here carbon atoms are present. So when CH3COOH dissolve into water in aqueous solution, it will form two ions. One is H3O plus ion, another ion it forms, that is CH3COO minus. So whenever any kind of acid dissociate into or mixed into the water, so in aqueous solution acid dissociate to form H3O plus ion. So these ions are common, H3O plus ion. Okay, so these are the common ions they form. Next, so what is a base? Generally, bases are the substance which react with acid to form salt and water. In another word, alkali is a kind of base which dissociate into water, or when it mixed into water, then it produce OH minus ion. OH minus ion are known as alkali. But all bases are not alkali, but all alkalis are base. Why? Because all bases doesn't dissolve into water, but all the bases which dissolve in water to produce OH minus ion, they are alkali. So you can say all alkalis are bases, but all bases are not alkalis. Like NaOH. NaOH is an alkali. So this dissociate into water into two ion or gives two ion, Na plus ion and another ion is formed, OH minus ion. So whenever NaOH dissolve in water, it dissociate to form Na plus ion and OH minus ion. Okay, so this is an example of base. Another example, suppose AlOH whole thrice, AlOH whole thrice, this is also a base. Okay, so these base also dissolve in water and form Al3 plus ion, but a common ion, that is 3OH. So OH minus ion forms here also. So this is an example of alkali. Okay, or you can say whenever any substance dissolve into water and produce OH minus ion, so they are known as alkali. And in case of base, bases are react with acid. So whenever bases are reacts with acid, they produce salt and water. Okay, next, weak acid and strong acid. We need to know about weak acid and strong acid. Weak acid, first weak acid. First we need to know about weak acid. Okay, so what are weak acid? Weak acids are the acid whose molecules doesn't ionize completely, or you can't say that complete ionization happens there. So those are known as weak acid. Suppose CH3OOH, CH3OOH, CH3COOH. In case of this acid, suppose 1000 molecules are there. Out of 1000 molecule, only 200 or so molecule dissociate. So lesser amount of molecules are dissociate. So it doesn't dissociate fully, or complete ionization doesn't happen. So that's why this is known as an weak acid. So all the organic acids are weak acid, whereas all the inorganic acid like HNO3, okay, so HNO3 is a strong acid because it completely dissociates. If 1000 molecules are there, so almost 1000 molecules are dissociate into H plus ion and NO3 minus ion, or you can say in aqueous solution it will produce H3O plus ion and NO3 minus ion when it mixed with water. Okay, so these are the known these are strong acid. Okay, or so like that, strong bases are also kind of like that. The bases which ionize into aqueous solution and gives almost ionized or more number of molecules are ionized there, so they are known as strong base. Like strong base KOH, like KOH is a strong base. Why it is a strong base? KOH, NaOH, these are all strong base because these completely dissociate into water and forms OH minus ion. Almost all the molecule dissociate there into OH minus ion. Okay, but there are different kind of bases are also there where partial ionization is happen. Partial ionization happen means lesser number of molecules are ionized. All the molecules are doesn't get ionized, doesn't break into ions. Okay, so like for example NH4OH, weak base. Why? Because it doesn't dissociate completely. Okay, next we need to know about the limitations of Arrhenius concept. Limitations. Limitations of Arrhenius concept. What are the limitations of Arrhenius concept? Arrhenius concept recognize the dissociation of acid and acid-base behavior in aqueous medium only. That is, for aqueous medium it can tell about the acid, except aqueous medium it can't tell about the acid. Again, it cannot explain the acid-base behavior in the absence of water. Whereas another point you can say, it restricts acids to merely hydrogen containing compound. At first in the definition there is a particular line there na, that hydrogen containing compound, acids are hydrogen containing compound, so it restricts acid to merely hydrogen containing compound and bases merely to hydroxyl containing compound, that is OH compound. But the substances such as CO2, SO2, SO3, they are not regarded as acid, but whenever CaO or CO2, these properties CO2 or SO2 or SO3 doesn't have any acidic property in its gaseous form, but when they dissolve into water they form different kind of acids. Okay, so this property also can't be told by the Arrhenius concept. Another, Arrhenius theory failed to explain the neutralization reaction which do not involve the formation of water. Where the formation of water doesn't takes place, it can't explain the neutralization reaction. Like the neutralization reaction between CaO and CO2, it forms CaCO3, but here no water forms, but it can't explain it. Okay, so these are the few limitations of Arrhenius concept. Next we need to know about indicators. Indicators. Okay, so what do you mean by indicators? Indicators are the complex organic substances which changes to characteristics color in the presence of a particular concentration of the ions such as H plus or OH minus ion. Like if the concentration of H plus ion is more, then indicator, a particular indicator has some color, and if it is OH minus ion is present there, then it will form or its color changes into a particular color. So in two different concentration of H plus and OH minus ion, these indicators have different colors. So by that different color we can identify whether it is a base or whether it is an acid. So in acidic solution an indicator have a particular color, and in a basic solution indicator have another color. So there are different kind of indicators used, or they have different color. Like in case of litmus indicator, in case of litmus indicator, in acidic solution and in basic solution, basic or in alkaline solution. In alkaline solution, in acid solution it is red, and in alkaline solution its color is blue. Okay, whereas in case of methyl red or phenolphthalein, in case of phenolphthalein, the color or phenolphthalein is colorless in acid, so it is colorless, and in basic solution it is pinkish red. Okay, and in neutral solution it is colorless. So these are the few examples where different indicators shows different color in different solution. So litmus solution is an acid base indicator. Remember that litmus solution is an acid base indicator. Now there is a universal indicator. What is universal indicator? Universal indicator. What is that? What is universal indicator? Universal indicators is a particular mixture of organic dyes which gives different color in solution of different pH value. pH value is a particular value, or pH scale is a particular scale which will show you which one is acid and which one is alkaline. Okay, So there are pH scale. pH scale is a particular scale, pH scale. Suppose in pH scale there are 14 points or 14 divisions are there. Okay, so 1 to 14 divisions are there. So in the 7th division, so this is 7, this is suppose 8, then 9, then 10, then 11, and so on. And here 6, here 5, here 4, here 3. Okay, so the 7, whenever any substance or any solution having a pH equal to 7, so 7 means it is neutral. 7 means it is neutral and its color is green. Okay, wherever you will go towards the right hand side, that is 8, 9 and 10, so it will increase in alkaline property, or it is more alkaline. Okay, and the color turns into in 8 it turns, or 8 or 9 it turns into blue, and then in 11 it is indigo, and then violet, and so on. So this color changes. According to the color changes, we can identify whether it is a basic solution or acidic solution. So whenever it is an acid solution, then we can find that it is yellow in color, or orange in color, or red in color. Red, when it is red in color, that is it is in extreme acid, or it is an extreme acid, or its acidic property is huge, strong acid. So pH value of 1, 2, 3, 4, these all indicates they are acid. And colors corresponding to 5 is yellow, corresponding to 3 is orange, and 1 is red, and in between them they are reddish orange, reddish yellow, or this kind of thing. So actually universal indicator is a strap. Okay, and there in that strap different colors are there, different color markings are there, and there is a yellow paper. So whenever you dip the yellow paper into a particular solution, it will change its color into or it changes its color to either red, or either green, or violet. So you need to identify, or you need to match the color along with the strip, and you can identify, or you can say what kind of substance it is, that is whether it is acidic or whether it is a basic solution. Okay, next we need to know about few applications of acid, or what are the uses of those acids and those alkalis. Is there any application? Yes, there are different applications of acid. So first we need to know about the applications of different acid and different acids at different bases. Okay, so what are the uses of different acid bases? So let us consider NaOH. At first we need to know about NaOH. So NaOH is sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide is used in the manufacturing of soap, paper, artificial silk. Okay, and extraction of metallic sodium, it is very important. In refining petroleum, NaOH is also used, and in the preparation of pure alumina from bauxite, we are using NaOH. Okay, next we need to know about nitric acid. Nitric acid is HNO3. So what are the use of nitric acid? Is there any use of nitric acid? Yes, nitric acid is used as fertilizer. Ammonium nitrate, ammonium phosphate, these all for fertilizers are produced from ammonia or nitric acid. Rather, explosive like TNT, trinitrotoluene, is an explosive which is produced by using nitric acid. Different drugs, dyes, paint, perfume, these are also using nitric acid to produce those. Celluloid and nitrocelluloid products like cellophane, rayon, so these are all also made from nitric acid. Coal tar like naphthalene, benzene, converted into nitro compound by nitric acid. Okay, so next, industrial application of H2SO4. What? H2SO4. What is H2SO4? H2SO4 is sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid is also known as king of, remember it, king of chemicals. It has a wide use, so that's why it is known as king of chemicals. So what are the use? They use dyes and pigment, okay, as in the manufacture of dyes and pigment, used to manufacture soaps, used to manufacture plastic bags, fibers, chemical, different hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, phosphoric acid manufacturer. For different, it is used to manufacture different kind of fertilizers like superphosphate, lime, or ammonium sulfate, and in that explosive TNT, trinitrotoluene, this TNT, in this preparation also H2SO4 is needed. In petroleum refining industry, sulfuric acid removes sulfur compounds from the gasoline and kerosene. In pickling of steel, that is cleaning of metal surfaces before coating it by the tin or enamel, we need to use H2SO4, okay, or we are using H2SO4 to clean those surfaces. Next, another compound or another acid, very useful acid, is HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid has a particular use in dyes, in producing dyes, drugs, and different tanning industry, in case of extraction of glue from bones, and in galvanization sector it is also used, okay. Now chemical properties of different acids, we need to know about the chemical properties of different acids. Like in case of H2SO4, what are the chemical properties of H2SO4? What? H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid is a particular acid. So whenever NaOH reacts with sulfuric acid, it produces an acidic salt. Sulfuric acid reacts with sulfuric acid reacts with FeO to produce FeSO4 and H2O. So it is the acidic property, or these are the acidic property. Next, come into oxidizing property. Sulfuric acid or concentrated hot sulfuric acid is a very good oxidizing agent. So that's why they are used as oxidizing agent. So it is having an oxidizing property. So for example, it oxidized carbon into SO2, sulfur dioxide, and produce CO2 and H2O. So this is an example of oxidizing property of H2SO4. Oxidizing property of H2SO4. Concentrated H2SO4 oxidized hydrobromic acid and hydroiodic acid into bromine and iodine respectively. Hydrogen sulfide is similarly oxidized to sulfur. So whenever hydrobromic acid is HBr, so 2HBr, it reacts with H2SO4 and bromine produced, that is Br2 will produce, and SO2 and also H2O. So these are all the examples where it is used, or its oxidizing property is used. Whose oxidizing property? Oxidizing property of H2SO4 is used. Dehydrating property. Do you know what is the meaning of dehydrating property? Dehydrating property of H2SO4 or concentrated H2SO4. Dehydrating. Do you know what is the meaning of this dehydrating property? Dehydrating. What is the meaning of dehydrating? Dehydration means water, removal of water, or when you remove water from any substance, then it is dehydrated. Okay, so minus of water. So it have a particular, or it has a particular ability to take out water from anything. Like whenever concentrated H2SO4 reacts with sugar, suppose you take some amount of sugar in a beaker. Sugar, what is the formula of sugar? C12H22 and O11. So if you take some amount of sugar and pour H2SO4 into it, then what will happen? Then you will see that it leaves a black carbon and a charred mass or charred mass is formed, or you can see a black color substance is formed. After some time it forms black, or as soon as you pour H2SO4, it will react with C12H22O11, that is sugar, and form a charred substance, black color substance. Okay, so what will be the equation? The equation will be C12H22O11 and it will produce 12C, that is only carbon produced when you add concentrated H2SO4. That is, at that time 11 molecules of H2O will remove from water. 11 molecules of H2O. 11 twos are 11 molecules. How many molecules? 11. So 11 of H2O remove. So 11 means, that is 11 twos are 22 and 11 ones are 11. So this total amount is released as water. Okay, so this is the dehydrating property of H2SO4. Another property of H2SO4 is there, it displaces other acid from their salt. Like whenever chlorine or chloride or a nitrate salt is heated with concentrated H2SO4, hydrochloric acid and nitric acid sets free. Like if NaCl, sodium chloride common salt, is heated with H2SO4, then which acid produce? Then HCl acid produce, and that salt NaHSO4, sodium bisulfite form. Okay, so chloride salt heated with H2SO4 and hydrochloric acid forms here. Hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, forms here. So these are the properties of H2SO4. Next, chemical properties of chlorine. Acidic property is same as like it when reacts with acidic property, means whenever it reacts with any base, then it produces salt and water. Okay, so acidic property indicated by this. So HCl, we need to know HCl, properties of HCl. So first, acidic property. Acidic property. What is acidic property? Whenever it reacts with bases like MgO, magnesium oxide, when it reacts with HCl, it produces a salt. Which salt? Magnesium chloride, MgCl2 and H2O. So whenever this acid reacts with base, it produces salt and water. Okay, so this is the acidic property of HCl. Next, reducing property of HCl. It is used as a reductant, like it oxidizes itself to reduce other. Like whenever HCl reacts with MnO2, it produces MnCl2 and chlorine gas is evolved. Okay, so this is the example of reducing property. For example, action of silver nitrate solution. What happened when let us explain the reducing property more. Suppose HCl reacts with lead oxide. Like for example, whenever it reacts with 4HCl, it reacts with PbO2, then it reduces PbO2 to PbCl2 and it produces also chlorine gas and water is formed. So here we can see that from PbO2 it produce PbCl2. So with the effect of HCl it forms. So it is the property of reduction or reducing property, because HCl oxidize itself to chlorine gas. H removed means oxidation. So this oxidation, and here to here is reduction property. Okay, so this is the reduction property of what? HCl. Next, let us move to HNO3, that is nitric acid. Properties of nitric acid, HNO3. Now properties of nitric acid. What is the property, or what are the properties of nitric acid? It is thermally decomposed. Okay, nitric acid completely decomposed on strong heating into nitrogen dioxide, oxygen and water vapor. So thermal decomposition happens here. Thermal decomposition means decomposed means it breaks into different things. Or what are the different things are produced there? There it produced nitric acid. Let us write the equation 4HNO3. So when it is heated, okay, this is the sign delta, heated, then it produce nitric acid, nitrogen dioxide, that is NO2, and also produce oxygen and also water. So this is the thermal decomposition of HNO3. It is having the oxidizing property as well, because it is an acid. So it is having an oxidizing property, like whenever it reacts with sulfur, suppose it reacts with sulfur, so S reacts with sulfur, reacts with HNO3 to produce NO2, and sulfur oxidized into H2SO4, like H2SO4, and water is also formed. So this is the oxidizing property of HNO3. Okay, so there are different reactions. You need to write those different reactions and try to remember the reaction by writing those for several number of times. Acidic property is similar. What is how acidic property can be seen? Acidic property means it reacts with bases to produce salt and water. For example, it combined with basic oxides like CaO. This is a basic oxide. When it reacts with HNO3, then it produce what? Salt and water. So salt and water is formed. Okay, so these are the properties of HNO3. So for this class we'll learn about different substances like acid and bases, and in next class we'll learn about more about acid and more about their chemical properties and more about alkalis and different kind of salt. So for this class, up to this, you need to read the chapter very carefully. You need to write the equations and you need to memorize few equations, because chemical equation is very much important in this chapter or for this chapter. So if you like my video, then please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, and if you have any query, then you can send it into the comment box below.